Well, that's not much good, is it? We're upside down. Oh my goodness. Hold on, for those of you that feel seasick at times, let me see if I can't change that around so that at least it's the right way round. I thought I was being clever, but clearly I wasn't. So there you go. Sorry about that. Okay, so hello everyone, and lovely. Thank you for joining me today. Some people have had dinner, some people haven't. I haven't. I'm starving, so if my stomach rumble on, ignore it, because I've got to show you these lovely things. Now, these were the one-day special for last weekend, so therefore 72 hours after it has been launched, we get to see the loveliness of it all. They are, and I have to say this straight away, very limited stock. We have still got them, but if you want them, go and grab them straight away, because there are limited amounts of these loveliness. Now, these are the streets and scenes, or no, sorry, street scenes and houses, and they're such a lovely, quirky collection. I had the pleasure of working with, now which ones did I do? This one, the street scenes. So street scene and wash house. I must put some of the samples up over actually so that you can see which ones I worked with. But these were great fun to work with. They're quite nice size images, about an A6 for these two. There were some designs and techniques that I used, which I'm going to use one of the techniques today, but not on these particular ones. So that was those two. Then in the set you have these two, which is tall house and round house. Oops. I'm going to be using the tall house today, which is this one, but you've also got the lovely round house there as well. And then you've got these long scenes. So you've got this one, which is four individual houses, and then this one, which is one long stamp. And I'm going to use that one today as well. So I'm going to do two samples for you today. I'll try and do them as quickly as I can so that you're not sitting here forevermore. But I got carried away with them because I think they're such fun to use. And so two it is. So let's go with the first one. Hold on a second, which I'm going to bring in this one. So I've already opened this one. This one is the, what do we call this one? Funky Village. Funky Village. And I'm going to do a slightly funky design, one that I did for the actual shows. I've already taken, I'm going to make it into a DL card, and I've already taken a piece of card which is 9.3, sorry that it's like that, by 19.3. No, wait a minute, 9.3 by, let me get them right, by 20.2, I think it is. Yeah, 20.2. Very precise. I know it's very precise, but it's just that I wanted to get in as much as I possibly could. Now, I'm not quite sure if you can tell from that, because I've got, for some unknown reason, I've got a lot of glare over here today. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can't do something about that. Oh. Don't know if that will help, but we will see. A little bit better. I have already put a very, very pale, gosh, it's really not showing very well at all, is it? But a very, very pale blue sky on there. I've simply taken some Distress ink, tumbled glass, and I have just put a wash over just about the top third of it. You can't see it very well in that light. I do apologise. I'm going to take my stamping platform, because that's by far the easiest way to pop these in. And I'm going to pop that down so that I'm going to do it long ways. Found that that was the easiest way of doing it. Pop that into the corner. And I want my Funky Village to go down the bottom here. So going along the line of my straight piece there, I'm going to then pick that up. And then I'm going to ink that up with Memento ink. No real reason, because I'm not going to colour anything. I forgot to tell you that. I did do a fair amount of colouring, but I just think stamping should be just available for everybody. And so I decided not to colour these. These are literally black and white images for you. So you can see how beautiful that is. Really lovely, crisp and very detailed. So let's take that off of there, pop that back. Pop that onto there. And then I'm going to do something a little bit different. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make it into what they actually call an eclipse card. Not quite sure why they call it such a thing, but you may recall some time ago there was the in thing was to cut out your card and putting letters in it and things like that, which you could do. It would be quite nice to put home and that sort of thing in there. But what I'm going to actually do is take a couple of the DL size cards, and I'm going to pop them onto here and cut out kind of like a frame. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one in place. So a little bit there and there. And then I'm going to take that now. I know there's a certain person that will want to know what numbers I've used. So for that sort of person, these are the press cut DL cards, DL dies. So I've used numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The outer one is number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then number 10. Number 6 and number 10. Okay. So, but this is from the press cut ones, and that may vary if you've got other people's versions of the DL card. Okay. So I'm just popping that onto position. As you can see, I haven't actually stamped and then coloured any of it at this stage. Run that through my machine. Hold on. Here we go. The written instructions, I'm just saying what Samantha said. So the lovely June does do written instructions for me. And what I do is I go back onto the videos. They are only in the last sort of probably, what, June? 4 months, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. And I go back onto the videos, and they are in the descriptions. The link to the downloadable thing is in the description. So that's where you will find the written and illustrated instructions by our lovely June Smith. So yeah, she very kindly does them for me because she's the only one that does them properly. So there you go. That's why she does them, because she's so good at it. So let's pop all these back. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how some people learn in different, we all learn in different ways, don't we? Some people by watching, some people by doing, some people by reading. It all varies. So I've got my card blank here, and I've cut myself a piece of black card as well, which was 9.5 centimeters by 20.5. And I'm going to put that straight down onto my card front. She is a star, Sam. She really is a star. So let's put that into position. Then I'm going to take my outer frame. So this is the biggest piece, and I'm going to pop that in as well. So a little bit of glue. And then I'm lining up, obviously, the outer piece, not the inner piece. I'm just making sure that that is all into position. Now then I want to put my smallest piece, so the inner bit in. And when I do put that in, I have got to take into account that I'm lining up some of these lines here. So I've got to make sure that we are more or less in the right position for those to go in there as well. So this is going to go straight down into the centre, which I think is about there. Just lining up these sort of pathways and bits and pieces that I can along the way. Trees and houses, and let's just put that in and make sure that we've got that right, which we have. So pop that there, and then I'm going to take some 3mm deep foam, and I'm just going to add that to this actual inner frame. And that is what they call an eclipse card. So if you've seen that before, as I said, a lot of people have done it in the past. There was a real fashion, if you could call it a fashion, of using the letters. So you could get some large letter dies, and then you could cut this same technique out and cut this out with letters and make people's names for their birthdays or love. Or, to be fair, you needed to have a large letter. Small letters didn't work quite so well. They sort of got lost in the translation. So the idea is that the frame that I'm now using, you pop a little bit of foam on top of it, pop a little bit of glue to help it stick, and then you slightly, and I do mean slightly, offset it so that you can see that black behind it. So we want it to be in line. We want all of the trees and everything, houses, to be in line, but slightly offset. You can see I've got a mucky mark there. I've got to get rid of that. So there is your eclipse card, and you can see that you've got lots sort of depth to it. Now, thinking on it, I think I would probably quite like to put a sentiment on here. And some of the sentiments that were from the flag, the double flags and things, would look good on there. But of course, as always, think about that afterwards. And I really don't think that you need anything else on there. You could obviously, if you are into colouring, go and colour some of it. But I just think just like that just looks very different. And, you know, you've never seen it like that before. Yeah, as I say, if you put in the word home or something, if you had big individual letters, it looks really good as well. So I think that looks really nice. Okay, so now I'm going to do a slightly different one. This time I'm going to take the tall houses, and I'm going to take a craft card to do it with. This is the tall houses stamp. Let's get that out to show you. Okay, so that is the stamp that we're going to use. But first of all, I'm going to take some older dies, and I'm going to incorporate some of the Victoria corners. I'm going to put them in first, and I'm going to put them into 3 corners. I'll explain in a minute why I'm using these particular corners, because there is method to the madness. But first of all, I want to cut them out. So these dies, there are 4 in a packet, and the beauty of them is that you have literally got 4, so that you can do the whole thing in one go. I'm actually only using 3 this time, but the whole point is that you could be using just one go. You don't have to keep going one die each corner. I can't be doing with that. I'm leaving as much as I can, the same sort of equidistance away from the corner for each one. And I'm putting this on the front, she said. Should have checked. No, I still am. No, I'm not, because I want it top folding. On the top folding here. Let's change that over. So this is on the front of my card. Okay. So I've just taped them down in those just to keep them in position. I'm going to run that through my machine. And that's going to go through like that. Has John crept in? I expect he's crept out again. I was going to say a joke then, but no. Evening, John, if you're there. Now, I'm just going to check that this has all cut out in all of the places, which it has, so that's great. And we just remove these pieces. These cut, as I said, into it. They don't cut the corner out, which there's some of my, I go to these such a lot because I think that they are. Oh, you're still here. All right. You should have called them Italian Villa. Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll go with Italian Villa. Yeah. I could do with an Italian Villa. Sounds good to me. Right. Let me just poke out these faces. So the Victoria corners just give that really pretty corner, but without taking it out. So it's cutting into the card. Okay. So then I'm going to use, again, Memento ink, but you could use VersaFine Clair or something of the sort to stamp my Italian Villa, tall house, whatever, into the corner. So I'm going to have to put the whole of the card in. So it's all going to go into here like that. But my stamp, I'm going to bring it down into this corner here. And I'm going to bring it down. I want it to be in a certain position, okay? So I want it to be so that these little balconies are about 1 centimetre from the outside edge, and a similar sort of position for this one here, so about 1 centimetre. That looks about right. So I'm going to pick that up. Now I'm using craft card, so therefore I might need to do it twice to get that really thick, well, not thick, but detailed line, because I find that craft card soaks the ink in a bit more. So you just want it to, yeah, just want to use that. So I want to make sure that we can see my house, as that'll be my house. Yeah, I think I'll have this room here can be the craft room. Can have the whole of the top floor, actually, couldn't I? That would be quite good. So we've stamped that into this corner. And then I'm going to take a cutting mat. So this is one of the cutting mats. It is a Nellie Snellen one, or Nellie's Choice, but the whole point is it's one of these sort of self-healing mats, because I just want to cut out some of my house. Now, the reason why I put it in this corner is because although I don't mind cutting out things, I don't want to be overly fussy. And I'm not going to cut out those 3 little balconies. And actually, neither am I going to cut out this one here. So I'm sorry, that is going to have to go. So I'm going to take my hobby knife and I'm going to cut right down so that I'm down to about the tree or bush level that's down in this corner here. Then I'm going to cut around, a little bit of a fussy cut, but hopefully enough. Now I am going to cut out the chimneys. So I'm going to go along with the straight sort of line there. Could be using a ruler, I suppose, but no. So I'm just going to fussy cut around that. And then on my the taller house, could be using a ruler. But hey, I need to make sure I cut in the right places if I possibly can. So the chimney is about the fussiest I'm prepared to go for this. I'm not prepared to go. I'm not prepared to go down here and cut out all those little balcony bits. No. I'm going to take that line. I know that I could be slightly wiggly there, but I'm not going to do that. I need to just... These are the fussier bits. Just need to prise that apart so that we've got that there. Okay, so that is now apart. I'm then going to bring in a nesting die, a square nesting die. Now it needs to fit in, so can you see the corners here? It needs to fit in within those corners because I can't have it cutting out the corners as well. So I'm going to slot that underneath, slot it down so that it is as much as I can. Yeah, I think that's about right. As even as I can. And then tape that into position. And then, whoops, run that through my machine. Depends on how fussy cutting you want to do, really. And I don't want to be too fussy, but I quite like a little bit of fuss. So let's bring this all through. And I've already got some backgrounds cut for this as well. So I then remove my tape. And you can see that we've then got our house in the corner there. Okay. Now, so that we've got this so that it looks nice, because obviously with the craft card, we've got sort of like not so pretty looking. So I've already cut myself a piece of gold card. This is the satin gold card, satin vintage gold card. And I've taken it almost up to the edge. So it's, let's just check, 17 by 17, which is really tight. But I wanted it to come right to the edge. So that it's only just within there. So this is inside. Okay. Then I've cut myself a piece of clotted cream card. And that is going to go into the centre. Now, if you want to get the centre completely right, you need to close your card and make sure that all you can see through there is just the clotted cream. Okay. But then if you look at my card, I can see the clotted cream through there, but I can see the gold through here. Okay. I can also see I've got a bit stuck there now, which I don't want. Thank you. Okay, so that then looks quite nice. As you can now see why I did only the 3, because I don't want one here because I've got the house. Now I'm going to grab myself now a little white pencil. And I'm just going to go into all of the windows and just give myself sort of a bit of a light, but it's not really, it's almost like a highlight. Just colouring in the white in all of the windows so that it just gives it a bit of a something. Not that I have then coloured it really. Just literally put, so there's a lot of windows in this one. I wouldn't want to clean all the windows. You could, again, obviously put more colour in there if you want to, but I think that that just brings it up quite nicely as well. And then, sorry, I was reading. Then I've got some sentiments to go in there. So I'm just going to put some sentiments in the bottom. This was a duo set from Creative Expressions. There's no place like home. Congratulations. I'm actually going to turn it around the different way. I've cut it twice out of the satin vintage gold card. Like so. I can see already I've got a bit stuck there. I'm going to use some glue glaze because we've got glue glaze back in stock. This is ideal for sticking these sorts of things together. Haven't used it very much because partly I hadn't got a great deal myself, and also you'd all be jealous if I did, wouldn't you? Oh, when does the glue glaze come in? Well, it's arrived. But can she stick it down properly? No. So just one on top of the other, just so it gives it that dimension. The same with my congratulations. Oops. So these stamps are, as I said, just suitable for so many different things. It isn't just new home, but this one I thought was ideal. But retirement, I thought that the other little scene, the funky village that I did just now, I thought that would look really good for retirement, or even thinking of you, or all sorts. Doesn't really matter. Or even just not put one on there at all. Don't need something on everyone, do we? Might help if I actually put a bit of glue on there rather than just fresh air and expect it to stick. Okay, so the way that I'm going to do it is so that these both fit in. So I'm going to do congratulations, and then there's no place like home down there. I'm actually going to spray those two to put them on, just for quickness, because you've been sitting there so patiently. So let me take these. Congratulations is going to go sort of at the top. Sort of. Had to be quiet doing that because I've got to concentrate, you know. And then this little one comes in down here. So as I say, this one I have made into sort of like a, well, sort of like a new home, isn't it? But then that might be just someone that's, I don't know, come back home, used to live abroad, I don't know. Any excuse, I say. But there you go. So that is card number 1 from today. Who knows what I've done with card number 2? Oh, there it is, silly me, right in front of me. So there is card number 2. So both from the same set, obviously, but very different ideas. You could use both of the ideas. You could mix and match with these. So, for example, we could take a card, a bigger card perhaps, an 8x8, stamp that down the bottom, and then just cut out roughly around some of these trees, and then that would make your bottom bit there. Yeah. Or the houses, the little single houses, that would work really well with that as well. Or this house, the little round house, that would work. Obviously it's bigger than that. So yeah, little round house like that as well. I don't think I'd be cutting out the little flag. I'll probably cut the flag off, to be honest with you. The street scenes work equally with this type of thing. We can put the street scenes in so that you've got a street scene in the corner. With the cards that I did for TV, I did an eclipse with that, but I put the stamp onto a 5x7 and then cut out a diamond for the frame rather than a square. So it can be done like that as well. And then, of course, you've got all of the little houses, the individual houses. So those, again, would make another one like this. You could put, house this corner as well. But it's literally just slotting the die underneath the bit that you've got cut. So you just need to cut that bit out first. So there you go. 2 cards for the price of 1 today. I hope that you enjoyed, well, both of them. Oh, I can't see both of them. You'll have to put like that. Right, get it right in a minute. I hope you enjoyed both of them. Pop over to the website if you would like any of the dies. The stamps. They are all over there, or at least they were when we started. And if they have gone, I'm afraid there aren't any more. But they are all over there. I'm seeing that people saying the glue glaze is sold out. I'll have a check, but it shouldn't be. So I will just check that for you. Yeah, life is too short for cutting out those tiny things. I just don't think there's any need to, is there? No one would be any the wiser if they didn't see that stamp that there was a balcony on that side. Yes, poetic license. So thank you very much. Don't forget, pop over to John at 7 o'clock for the Craft Cave Live. I will be back on Sunday, which is the 15th of January, with another little something special to show you. And on the 14th, I'm looking forward to seeing some real people. I know you are all real people, but real people in real person. Will be great to see people at a workshop down here where I live, which will be lovely. So looking forward to seeing you crowd too. Thank you for joining me today. Stay safe, stay well, and I will see you again on Sunday at 11 o'clock. Take care till then. Bye.